Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to this month's 15-minute Feature Friday. We're going to be covering Customer Dashboard today, which is a really interesting feature that not a lot of people really know about or understand. And we've got Mike Terrace with us on the phone here. My name is Jason Wallace. I'm a sales engineer with Milestone. Mike Terrace, also a sales engineer with Milestone. He'll be pretty much leading the presentation here and going over the features. And we look forward to helping you guys better understand this. Oh, also, if there's any questions, feel free to type them into the questions box. We have all the audience muted, but we'll certainly try to answer questions at the end. So, Mike?
Okay, thanks, Jason. Thanks, everybody, for joining. So, again, we're going to cover the customer dashboard. We have a real quick presentation here, just going over some of the requirements, some of the features that you get out of this, and then most of the rest will be a live demo. So, let's get started. So the customer dashboard is basically health monitoring, so active health monitoring of your system. So your installed Milestone systems, they reach out to our web services. So it's required to have internet access for your Milestone systems to enable this. And then you have to opt in to enable the data collection on our side. And it sends a lot of information on, camera uptime, server uptime, how the performance of the system is. And then the third requirement is an active Care Plus agreement. So 3 requirements: having internet access, enabling the data collection, and Care Plus. And we'll show those again once we get to the live demo. But what this allows you to do is get real-time alerts and status reports.
So health and monitoring, that kind of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah. And just to reiterate, this isn't on by default. So your system's not sending a bunch of information up to Milestone by default. This is something you have to enable within the software.
Good point. Good point. So some of the key features for the customer dashboard, you have to go into your My Milestone account, into your software registration section of your account to enable and configure the alarms and the alerts, and to view the customer dashboard, essentially. What it gives you is an error list from all your connected systems that you can filter and search through to investigate in more detail, where are you getting these errors from, what licenses are they attached to. So that's one thing. It gives you the full screen monitor mode, which will show what that is. It's very useful for IT departments or operations centers where you want to monitor your health on a screen. There's the service status page where you can investigate an individual system, create uptime reports for those systems. And then finally is the configurable email notifications. So whether you want to sign up for the real-time alerts or the scheduled status reports, or what we call digests, all that stuff's available through the customer dashboard portal. Some of the features real quick. So all Xprotect products have the customer dashboard as a possible feature, and it gives you information on cameras, hard disks, server status, licensing issues. I'll show you the full list of stuff when we get into the live demo, but it's a large list of different health status reports.
That's pretty extensive.
Yeah. Cool. So when you get into the C code products, which is Express Plus, Professional Plus, Expert, and Corporate, you can use the rule system there to trigger customer dashboard notifications, basically based on any rule condition. So if you have motion on a camera, we can send to the customer dashboard. It gets that simple. And then Expert and Corporate, since they have the system monitor, which will monitor the health of your different system components, your CPU, your disks, your cameras, you can use that as a trigger to send information to customer dashboard. So that's about it. I'm going to escape out of here, and we're going to go into my system. So this is an E-code system. This is Professional 2018 R2, and just to show you what you need to do to turn this on. So obviously we're online here. The only other option other than Care Plus is in the settings menu. In the general tab, you just have to click this box, right, to send information about Milestone customer dashboard. So that's your opt-in, right? Once you opt into that, it starts sending in info. And then this is a C-code system, corporate system. So I will go through the requirements here. So we have Care Plus, an active Care Plus agreement. And obviously we're online, and then you go into the tools options menu, and then there's a customer dashboard tab all the way over on the right, or second from the right. And it's, again, just a little checkbox to enable the system to gather the data for customer dashboard.
And this is that opt-in I was referring to that allows it to start sending the data up to Milestone.
Yeah, that is, none of those are checked by default when you set up the system. I had to go in here yesterday when I was setting this up and check those boxes. So just to show, again, some of the stuff that's available on C Code, the rules engine, I created this customer dashboard rule right here. So this rule, whenever I click my user-defined event called Panic, my Panic button that's available in my client, it'll send an alarm to the customer dashboard. I also created through the system monitor camera frames per second warning. So whenever my recording frames per second on my cameras gets too low, it sends that information to customer dashboard. Right. It's also going to be monitoring for a lot of other health status stuff from the system, but those were added in addition. And again, if you're curious about System Monitor, this is whenever my cameras get below 60% of the expected recording frames per second, it sends that alarm, and this is the System Monitor section.
And you can drag those values and define what is considered normal, what's considered warning and critical, and that's what defines those events that are sent up or when those events occur.
And just to show real quick, if you wanted to create a rule, if we want to, any event you get from the system, and it can be, something as simple as motion started on a camera. You can use the rule system to send that info to customer dashboard, right? So whenever I get motion on my 360 camera, I send that that alarm to customer dashboard, right? Not going to turn that on, but I just wanted to demonstrate that. So here's my client, and I've got this panic button right here. I want to activate that. That is going to send an alarm to customer dashboard. You can see in my alarm manager that I've got those panic events, right? I double clicked a couple times on that, and you can see those alarms did take place. I triggered one just as we started here. So let's go to the customer dashboard and see what that looks like. So this is my milestone in the software registration section, and this is your customer dashboard. Other ways you can get to this, if you go to your support, you can go to software registration, and then you're at your customer dashboard right here. If you're in your My Milestone, so let's go to Milestone, and then go to My Milestone, log in. Oh, I got my name backwards. You come in here to your reseller portal, and then there's a direct link to the customer dashboard right here on your reseller portal. And it just takes you to the same page where these are all your errors. So this is my SLC. I'm Michael James Terrace. This is my SIAB system that we're working with. It gives you a 30 days of errors over all of your systems. So it's pretty useful, and that's just the errors section. It's going to load here in a second.
Just kind of nice.
Yeah, and you can filter on different errors here. So right now it's just showing all active errors with all the different error descriptions, and these are the different types of errors that it sends. And I said that I was going to show you the list. Here's the list. And down here on the bottom is the rule generated alerts. If we go for that, here's that rule generated alert from my SIAB that I triggered with the panic button, right? And it gives you just some information: the location, what's the product, what's the server, what's the SLC, who's the customer, if you want to dig into that, right?
So these are manually generated events here, but you can also imagine doing this with CPU power too high. If your CPU load is too high or your hard drives are filling up, cameras are failing, that kind of thing. That's where this is really especially useful.
Yeah. So if you're, let's see if we get anything for database disk full. No, you can filter on a lot of these alarms, right? Can I retrieve images? I know I saw a few of those. Yeah. So we've got these multiple systems are being monitored here. This account has access to a whole bunch of different SLCs. So this is what the monitor mode looks like. So imagine you're in an IT department and you're monitoring several different systems. You could have this up on one monitor in your facility, and whenever this monitor turns red, just a very visible notification. Hey, something's happening. We need to pay attention to that.
So this is regularly updating, so you can have it as a real-time visual alert, in addition to having it send an email or just having a record of it in the
yeah. So whenever we go back to the error list, this error that you see here in the monitor mode should be whatever the top error is right here, right? So server status. This is another feature available through Customer Dashboard. This is going to give you the ability to select a different server through the filtering options here, and then create an uptime report. Now we're running a little late here. Looks like we've got just a few minutes left. So I created an uptime report yesterday, and this is on the same system that I showed you guys earlier of my corporate system. And it basically just gives you a period of time. So I just took a 1 day period from the 9th to the 10th. And, my system had 100% uptime. So it was up and running the whole time. Just gives you, some detail. What's the site ID? What's the license? What's the care level? And what the product is. And then if you have any errors, they're going to all be registered underneath this.
And this is what would be emailed to you at a frequency that you define as part of generating that report.
Right. So here's the last part after the server status is the error notification. This is where you go in and you select who gets those errors. So this is my email address that I'm sending errors to whenever there's an immediate error, and I also get the error notifications. So you can send a summary every 6, 12, or 24 hours, and then you can also sign up for the immediate emails. So let's take a look a little bit at what some of those errors look like when they come in, and just to show you guys how that actually works. One of the things that you're going to want to do when you configure this is go into your licenses and make sure that you have fully populated all of the information that you can in the license field. 25F. Okay, so trying to find my license here. Here's my license that I'm getting errors from, and it gives me a lot of good information here, right? So the location, the license description, product. So I've fully populated all of these fields in the details of my license, right? You go in here and you edit this. If you edit this license description, that's going to give you this information shows up in your emails, right? So let me just quickly show you what that looks like when you get an email here.
So as a user setting this up, these are things that you'll want to define in there, because Milestone's not going to know, exactly where the system is installed, what building it's in, that kind of thing. You'll need to define those things in that interface that Mike was just showing you. And then from that point, when you open up the email that he's bringing up, then it'll have those fields populated correctly. So you can identify exactly where the error is, where the problem is, on which system.
All right, so I've got so many emails here. So this is my Gmail account emails, and you can see right here it's showing Green City Schools Building 405. That is the license description field that you need to populate in the My Milestone. If you don't do that, it's just going to give you the license and the customer. It's not going to give you an actual location. So that is about all the information we've got on the customer dashboard here. Jason, is there anything else that I missed or that you want to talk about?
No, I think you got it pretty well covered. We're down to about a minute or so left in the official time. If anybody has any questions, if you want to type them into the questions box in your webinar interface, we'll be happy to try to field those. So far, it's kind of quiet. Anybody? Going once, going twice?
Okay. Well, again, customer dashboard, very useful for health monitoring. If you have any questions about it, we have e-learnings available on how to set up the customer dashboard, how to work with how to sign up for the error notifications, how to configure the server status reports and generate all that stuff. So,
and you can get to those right off our website. To get to those e-learnings, they're pretty comprehensive. They're real helpful. And there's also the pre-sales box. So if you guys have any questions, you can send them to presalesUS@milestone.us. We do have one question that came in, Mike. It says, is the live monitor just one error at a time?
Yeah. So it's just going to show what the most recent error is in your system, right? So it tells you the last time it was refreshed right here. So if you're monitoring, just a handful of systems, it's a useful tool because it'll pop up what most recently happened.
Yeah, this normal state would be green, I believe. So if you glance up at it in green, then all's clear. And then if you see red, then that indicates you need to log into the system and see what's going on, kind of get a more detailed view from your dashboard.
Right. Yeah, it is, and to directly answer, it is just one at a time.
Excellent. All right. Well, I appreciate everybody coming. Thank you very much. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to send us an email. We'll be happy to try to answer that. It's presalesUS@milestone.us. And until next month, we appreciate you hanging out with us. So have a good day.
All right. Happy Friday, everybody.